What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another gear unboxing video. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit about this new Shimano reel I got in. But first, before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to the new amazing sponsor of the channel, and that is American Legacy Fishing and Outdoors. I've always purchased stuff from them for the longest time. They've been the biggest supplier that I bought pretty much all my fishing gear from, just because they're somewhat local. They're about 2 hours away from my house. I can get stuff here really quick. The people there are amazing. They send you stuff really quick when you order it. They've got a ton of selection of gear and on their online website and their storefront over in Indiana. So make sure you guys check them out. That's where I picked up this awesome reel from. They were amazing and helped hook me up with some gear to be able to do reviews for you guys. So anyways, let's hop into the video. So if you guys watch the channel here for a few, you've seen that I've done reviews on the Shimano Sustain, the Twin Power, the Twin Tower FD, the Stratic FL, the Vanford, the Stratic CI4 Plus, and then I recently did a video comparing all the 4 Shimano reels that I had that were, at the time, they were the Stratic FL, Vanford, Sustain FJ, and then the Twin Power FD. Well, I added another one to the fleet right now, and that is the Shimano Twin Power XD C3000. Now, this reel was released in 2021, and I wasn't really expecting them to come out with another XD model after they came out with that Twin Power FD. I just figured the Twin Power FD was going to be taking over for the XD when it came out. And honestly, with being a freshwater fisherman, you really don't hear about too many people getting into the Twin Powers with freshwater, especially around my area. Not many people get into higher end gear to begin with. So especially for a reel like this that I believe retails at $479.99, it's not something common around here, especially up in Ohio for freshwater. Because this reel, I know there's some people that will use it for bass fishing or freshwater fishing, but a lot of people are using this for inshore fishing. So this Twin Power XD is marketed as the most durable and the strongest reel in their Magnum Light series. Magnum Light series really consists of the Vanford, Sustain FJ, Accents, and then of course the Twin Power XD, with the Vanford being the lightest, the Twin Power XD being the heaviest, with the Accents somewhere there in the middle. So knowing that this is the toughest reel in the Magnum Light series, let's get it opened up and then start talking about some of the technology that Shimano says is inside this reel. So, right when you open it up, there's the paperwork. Well, there was paperwork from American Legacy. You've got just your manuals on here, and then you've got your reel, or your handle, the actual reel, this right here, which has your extra shims in it. I'm not sure what this little tool is. I'll look into it. I'm guessing it's something for the gears and to get into the gearing for it. And then you also have a black mesh bag for your reel, which is kind of nice. I kind of like the mesh bags a little bit better that I have for my Twin Power FD and my Sustain, but you know, it's still nice always getting that bag for it. So let's throw that right back in there. The manual's back in there. Get the reel out of the packaging, and then get talking about some of the technologies in this reel. So right out of the box, I can tell it's definitely a very, very smooth reel. It feels really lightweight, and honestly, the first time I pulled this out, at first it concerns me. And then you start looking into actually all the parts on it, and of course the rotor is that MGL or Magnum Light rotor on it, but everything else, it feels really solid. Everything else about the reel. It's very smooth on it. Next to my Twin Power FD and my Sustain FJ or my Shimano Stella, I would say it's probably just as smooth. Man, not the Stella. I've got the Stella SW is definitely the smoothest out of any that I have. So this definitely compares, at least feeling the smoothness of it, compared to that Sustain FJ and then the Twin Power FD. So a little bit about this reel. The Twin Power XD comes in a few different models. It comes from anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000. It's the C3000 and the C5000. They also have that 4,000 model. In the 3,000, they've got an HG and XG model. And the 4,000 and 5,000, I think both of them have the HG, XG, and they also have, I think it's the PG, which is meant for just a slower retrieve. I think people use that for like jigging offshore, jigging for bigger saltwater fish. So it's not something that I typically use because being up here in Ohio, first of all, when I am saltwater fishing, I don't need to be away offshore. I'm just pretty much fishing inshore for red, snook, trout, stuff like that. And that's why I stick to the 3000, because 3000 makes an amazing bass fishing reel. Actually, now I use mainly 3000 for all my bass fishing needs. And then it also works great for inshore fishing too for most applications. So this being a 3000, it's 7.1 ounces and it has 20 pounds of drag in it. This reel, it has silent drive, G-free body, all the bells and whistles that really just adds up to having a better experience with the reel and it being able to handle a little bit bigger fish, which is what they market it as, being the toughest and most durable reel in their Magnum Light series. So like I just mentioned, it's got silent drive, it's got a G-free body. They say it's got the rigid support drag, which really helps beef up this reel. If you take off the spool, you can really see the rigid support drag in it, which I believe a lot of the other model Shimanos that are of this caliber have too. So this drag support system right here, it's just beefed up. That's all what the rigid support drag means. It's beefed up, a little bit thicker, so then it's not gonna bend or anything under high pressure or anything like that. I've never really had any issues with it, but it is nice to have just in case, especially for if you're going to be saltwater fishing with this reel. Of course, like a lot of other Shimanos in this same caliber, it's got the Micro Module 2 long stroke spool, which the long stroke spool, it really just helps make it so that it lays line better on your spool, so then you can get farther casting distance. You don't have to worry about as many maybe knots or anything in your braid that you put on this, or line on the spool, anything like that. It's got the cross carbon drag system inside of it, which I believe just makes it a smoother drag system, a better feeling drag system, which most of the Shimanos I've got, or I think all of them, have that cross carbon drag. So it's just something that I really consider a standard for the 200 plus Shimano reels, or $200 plus Shimano reels that they put out. It's also got the SARB bearings, X Protect, X Ship, Hagani gears, Hagani body, and then it's got 11 ball bearings. And then of course, it's got the MGL rotor, which is what lowers the weight on the reel and really puts it in that Magnum Light category for Shimano. And then lastly, this reel can hold 200 pounds of 10-pound 200 pounds of 10-pound braid. Yeah, 200 yards of 10-pound braid. Sorry, I'm confusing myself with talking about this reel. Overall, I'd say this reel is a really good looking reel. It's a dark blue color with the chrome or metal, whatever, silver accents to it. It looks really good. It's not like any other Shimano I've got. All the other Shimanos are typically black, silver, or something like that. Black, silver, gold, all of that. So it's kind of nice having something that has the silver accents to a dark blue. It's just something different that you can have in your arsenal. It feels like a super smooth reel, just out of the box, just feeling it. This reel doesn't have the anti-reverse lever on it, so you can go backwards, forward, and backwards. I don't really know what all Shimanos do. None of the ones that I have do. And personally myself, I don't use anything like that. I don't need it. I've got a Daiwa BG if I do need the anti-reverse on it. But, you know, I just don't need anything like it. I've never had problems with them, and I've never even used them for myself using or with having something like that on a reel in the past. Now, the only bad thing I've really heard about this is that the line retrieve bail bearing, whatever you want to call it, the bearing inside this actual bail that retrieves the line, I've heard that it tends to go bad fairly quickly, which to me, it's not a big deal. It's not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing for me, because it's one of the things to where it's a few bucks to get a new bearing, and as long as you know how to use tools, like simple tools like screwdrivers and stuff, you can really go right into here. You can unscrew it, access into that bearing, and then replace it fairly easily. So it's not something that I'm too worried about. I've heard of a few different Shimanos having that problem. I know that the Vanfords have an issue like that too. So for $479 retail for this reel, I would hope that stuff like that would have been fixed and you don't really have to worry about stuff like that happening. But you know, it's one of the things, at least it's a cheap fix if anything goes wrong with it. Personally, I've never had any issues with the actual line retrieve bearing right there going bad. I'm hoping this isn't the first. But overall, I think this reel feels amazing. Right now, I'm not sure what I'm going to pair it up with. I would like to use it for bass fishing, but also I love having some Bull Bay rods that I use for freshwater and saltwater fishing to put it on. So I would like to get something like a 6 to 12 or 6 pound to 12 pound rated Bull Bay rod to put this on. Something like this, being in the Magnumite series. Yes, it is supposed to be the most durable Shimano in the Magnumite series, but since it is a lighter reel, I would like to put it with a lighter pound line and a lighter pound rod too. So I'm probably gonna put, I'm gonna guess 10 pound braid on here. I may put 15 pound braid on here. Most likely it's gonna be 10 though. And 10 pound braid will handle most stuff. Anything freshwater I need, pretty much, it'll handle. Saltwater, 10 pound braid will handle a lot for fresh or saltwater fishing too, inshore fishing. Because I believe with Suffix 832, which is what I'll probably put on here, Suffix 832 10 pound braid really has a breaking point at like 28 pounds from what I've done tests before and a little research tests for them too. So I'm probably gonna stick 10 pound braid on here to leader, and it's probably gonna go on a 6 to 12 Bull Bay rod at some point. Anyways, let me know in the comments if you would like me to put this reel up against any other reel that I have or any other reel that I can get. Currently, I've got the Shimano Stratic FLs, I've got the Vanford, I've got Sustain FJ's Twin Power FD, and then I'm looking into possibly getting some Daiwas to be able to put up against this reel and a few of my other reels too. So if you guys have anything you would like to see put up against this Twin Power XD for when I do review videos for it and get some use out of it, let me know down in the comments, and let me know if you guys have any other reels in general that you would like me to go over and do unboxings and reviews for. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. I would suggest going down and hitting the bell so you guys get notifications for when I put out more review videos like this, and when I get through a review video and a full breakdown of this reel after I get some good adequate use out of it. So thank you guys for watching. If you're watching this far, let me know other reels or other gear that you would like reviewed down in the comments below, and we will see you in the next one.